My name is Anirban. I'm based in Dubai. I am a director for technology sales for Middle East, Africa, and the Turkey region for Red Hat. And in my presentation today, which I don't think is up yet, I'll be taking you through some of the various priorities that customers have to go through when they're navigating their journey for digital transformation. Let's get started. So let me begin by asking you a simple question. So you've come here to attend a seminar on digital transformation, but of course you are trying to digitally transform your own organization. So what's the first thing that goes through your mind when you hear this term digital transformation? And let me give you a few options. If you have been to a hospital, you might have seen a chart like this. It's called the pain assessment tool. It sort of ranks the feeling that you're getting, the pain that you might be getting when you are, when the doctor is or the nurse are treating you. So where do you see yourself in that chart in terms of the pain that you feel? Are you excited, everything is fine, or do you feel severe pain as a result of the activities that you have to do within digital transformation? Now, based on my experience, and I talk to many clients across the region, I feel many people are on the right-hand side of the chart where they are experiencing a high degree of pain, unfortunately. So let's work through some of the aspects of digital transformation that an IT leader thinks about when they hear the term. Many people are interested in fast. We talked about fast digital. We talked about scalability. I think in the panel there was a lot of discussions around all of these topics, whether it's availability, operability, usability, etc. And some of you might want things for free. I mean, we are an open source organization, therefore, technology in open source should be free according to many of the customers I speak to. But the last one is, I guess, the most interesting. They want to transform digitally without changing anything. Really? You want to transform digitally, you want your organization to be different, but you're not willing to change anything. So it's like this IKEA effect. I know that IKEA is not operating in Africa, but I'm sure you have heard of this company called IKEA. They make this, they make furniture which comes in flat packaging, right? And then you put it together. So even it happens to me when I'm not very good at putting a furniture together, and to be honest, IKEA furniture is probably not the best quality anyways. But when I put something together, however it is, I have a sense of pride. I've built it. It must be good, and that is often the case in many people within the IT organization. It's they've even named it the IKEA effect because somebody has built it. They're very passionate about it, and they are not really willing to change. There is a lot of resistance to change, if you will. So if you look at the barriers to digital transformation, this is a Red Hat survey that we had conducted. So this resistance to change obviously ranked at the top when why people are not able to digitally transform. Time constraints, everybody is busy, they are already occupied, they have their plates full, really, right? So how do they transform digitally? Cost, budget, I think that came up in the Freshworks presentation as well. And lack of skills required. So when I go and meet with a lot of the clients, they're saying that Red Hat is bringing technologies, but these technologies, do we know how to work on these technologies? Where is the skill? But if you start to group all of these things, you will find some patterns. One I would call is the fear of unknown, which is where resistance to change is probably coming from. And then if you start to group the rest, you will soon see there is the time constraints, the costs and everything can be grouped as a big bang approach. If you're trying to do everything all at once, then obviously that's going to be tough, right? The knowledge gap is absolutely real, and furthermore, I think even the panel over here was talking about creating that business case. The business case is fundamental for you to get budgets and funding. The business case is fundamental for any project to really see the light of the day. And especially if the funding is not coming from IT, if it is coming from the line of business, then creating that business case or demonstrating that improvement is the key here. All right. So if you start to group all of these things together, you will see three simple patterns. And I already appreciate the previous speaker who termed it even better than what I have got over here. He called it the three Ps. And we also kind of look at it in the same way, except the last one, we call it technology. So people, process, and technology. So these are the three Ps, or people, process, and technology, as we call it, are the barriers to transformation. And in my discussion today, I want to kind of take you through these three areas and what we can do about it. Like, how do you navigate these barriers? And if you rate these barriers, there's a pattern there as well. So, of course, technology is one of the barriers, but if you look at process and culture, they're probably even more important than technology. Frankly speaking, this is a Harvard study which has been done on these three areas, where they are saying that culture and process is even more important than technology. If you can't fix the culture and the process barriers, then you probably won't be able to fix the technology anyways. But before we start all of this, the fundamental that was mentioned already here is creating that business case. So in Red Hat, we provide technology that helps you run applications. So we are deeply involved with your applications teams and your infrastructure and operations teams. So there has to be a connection between the software development capabilities or the software development performance that you try to strive, and the business of making greater revenues, higher profits, or even other things. For example, the innovation culture or the customer experience. So there has to be a clear connection, and we work with our clients to establish this clear connection. And we have borrowed from a research done by an organization called DORA and try to use metrics such as this one, where we define some of the key characteristics of software development capabilities and translate that into business performance in terms of revenue, in terms of cost reduction, and things like that. So the matrices are, for a couple of examples, the lead time to change, which is the amount of time it takes for you to release new versions of a software. Just to give you an example, I'm not from Kenya, and when I tried to come here, I applied for my e-visa, right? And when I applied for the e-visa, it took them, let's say, 2 days to process that e-visa. Now, e-visa is quite popular, and let's say there are 1,000 people applying. But let's imagine if Kenya, the tourism in Kenya becomes huge, and there are hundreds of thousands of people applying for e-visa every day, then the amount of changes that portal will have to have, the frequency of the changes that the e-visa portal will need to incur is much higher. So when that happens, is your application platform ready to handle that? And if let's say that portal fails, then is there the ability to recover that very, very quickly? What is the time to recovery for such a portal? And how many times when you try to release a new software, are you getting an error? So these are some of the matrices which Red Hat, when we engage with our customers, we start to talk about. And there is a clear correlation between these matrices and the performance of the business. For example, for Ministry of Tourism, who is running that portal for e-visas, for them it could be how many people they are able to process in the e-visa system. For a bank, it could be how many people are using your mobile banking application, so on and so forth. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit on the technology aspect of things, because that's where the Red Hat brings its solutions. You probably think about this already in this manner, but applications are the key, right? The software applications that you run, that is what's giving you the edge for digital transformation. Because it is allowing you to effectively capture new areas of the markets, it is allowing you to reach out to customers, for example, through your mobile app. And software is also the competitive edge. And it is also the applications that you develop is giving you the customer's experience. If you give them a good experience, somebody said, if you make it easy, then they will come. They will start to use your products. So if applications are the key to businesses, then we must look at the application platform, the platform on which your applications are running. And this is where Red Hat plays a big part. So Red Hat brings an application platform with certain characteristics which makes it easy for you to move into a highly scalable platform which allows you to develop software quickly, make changes quickly, and then which are deployed in a reliable manner. So what are some of the things? So some DevSecOps was mentioned as a word, but CI/CD pipeline, DevSecOps is some of the things that this platform should have. It should run on any cloud, and this is very, very important. Discussions in the panel were about using of cloud technologies from various public cloud providers or other providers of co-locations, etc., or even in your own data center. So the platform should be able to run on any cloud, and that's a fundamental. Another thing that was mentioned is there are a lot of enterprise customers who have monolithic and legacy applications potentially. So this platform should be inherently capable of delivering things like microservices, APIs, and other cloud-type technologies which ultimately help in your application development. So in Red Hat, we have built this application platform based on a technology called Kubernetes, which you may be familiar with. And within this platform, we bring all of these capabilities together, whether it is about running your CI/CD pipeline, whether it's having the logging, the monitoring systems for those applications, together with the operations tooling, together with the APIs, and of course, the automation required across such a platform. And it runs on each and every cloud, including your private data centers that you might be running. And if you haven't heard these names, we call the application platform OpenShift, and some complementary technologies such as Ansible automation, application services, and our other developer solutions like CodeReady are integrated part of that. So I talk to a lot of clients who have a lot of legacy software which they have had for the last 20, 25 years, and when we introduce the word of digital transformation to them for these legacy software, which are either critical part of their systems. For example, you may have a core banking system if you're a bank, or if you're a government organization, you may have a citizen data solution. If these legacy solutions are there, then just modernizing some front-end aspect of your digital technology will probably not be enough. Because even if you are able to have a better customer experience with a mobile app, it will still be constrained by the legacy application that you're running on it. And there are patterns for modernizing these digital applications, which was first Gartner introduced these patterns, and then Amazon Web Services made this very popular, and now almost every vendor is talking about these patterns, which is what do you do with your legacy applications? How do you really modernize them? And the first two are simple, like you either retire them or you retain them. But it's the rehost, the replatform, and the refactor, which is where Red Hat is having a deep conversations with our customers. And these choices are very critical because there is an implication of cost. Of course, everybody would like to refactor and have everything start from scratch, everything built in a cloud-native way, everything built in just the right way it should be. But that choice may not exist. That choice may be expensive, and there are many constraints which you are dealing with. Therefore, rehosting and replatforming, which are making slight changes to the architecture of the applications, or introducing capabilities such as APIs or automation, etc., that may be quite useful. And again, this is a key area of consideration if you have those legacy applications. This is just a journey that we that we work with various customers of ours, and we are currently working in Kenya and many of the African countries with the leading banks and the telcos, retail and government organizations, where we are taking them through this journey of analyzing the set of applications that they want to digitally make it modern or digitally transform, and essentially helping them, advising them through these various considerations of rehosting, replatforming, or refactoring. Yeah, and just to give you an example how we do that, we have these modern application development workshops, which we are very keen to run with your teams, your software development teams, and your IT organizations, so that we can help them through this journey. And if you look at the second aspect of things, which is processes, it's by no means a less important. In fact, it is more important aspect. And if you look at that, the key over here is to standardize and automate and have the leadership behind it, right? Change management is very important, and the approach that you take towards DevOps, etc., is very important. But in the interest of time, I will not be able to spend too much time on this. But if you want to talk to us about these aspects, we will come back to you on that. The last but not the least is the culture. So, probably the most important aspect of a digital transformation project or initiative that you run is to change your culture. And as an open source organization, this comes naturally to us, the way we think about collaboration, the way we think about transparency. This is critical to your digital transformation success as well. So we talk about in the open source culture not having any long-term roadmaps, building everything into small little chunks, using rapid feedback cycles, and allowing your teams to experiment, so that you are able to build new capabilities and you are able to automate your application development. And in Red Hat, we offer something called Open Innovation Lab. We use this word open, obviously, because Red Hat is an open source company, and we would like to kind of put it in that context. But in the Open Innovation Labs, which could be labs that you are running within your organization, we come in and we participate with your teams. And these can be done in small little chunks, where we impart some of these processes and the best practices that we have seen, or it could be a longer 2-month or a 1-year residencies that Red Hat does with you as well. And last but not the least, I want to finish off by saying that Red Hat is providing open source technologies, some of the products we talked about earlier, and we provide support and training and certification around those products. We have our consulting services, and we have our partnerships with various organizations in Kenya and other parts of Africa whom we work with in these type of projects. And no digital transformation project is going to be just using Red Hat technologies. It will have a whole heap of applications and softwares that will come as part of these projects. So we have a huge ecosystem of partners, whether they are your cloud providers, as we said, we offer hybrid cloud solutions, whether they are your hardware vendors or application vendors for your banking, your healthcare that you are using today, or even database and analytics applications that you'll be using. They're all certified to run on the application platform that we mentioned, which is ready for your cloud native development. So with that, I thank you for your time and hope to talk to you soon.